Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
I have an interesting story.
Go on.
It's not that interesting, but it's like
I've lost interest. I'm sorry.
yeah. I am.
Please tell me something different. Now.
Yeah, if it's not that interesting, I don't want to know. You remember the night? You remember me telling you about me going to Culver's and trying out Culver's, this new burger place near me? Is that in the video? Did I tell you that? Did I tell you this?
Yeah, we talked about a bunch of random burger places that I'd never heard of before.
Yeah, that's what I thought I told you about Culver's.
But I don't remember if Culver's was one of them.
So
no,
this was
Culver's
the place.
Sounds kind of familiar.
Well, this was the place that's new here. It's from the Midwest, and everyone kept telling me I need to try it. It's better than Five Guys and all this. And so I go to it, sit in line for an hour and a half because it was their grand opening week. It wasn't even the first night they were open. It was just the first week they were open. Order the burger, and in like the picture it had like lettuce and pickles, or lettuce and onions, I think, or no, pickles and onions is what it was. Pickles and onions on it and like ketchup. So I just ordered that, expecting to get that. And they didn't ask me like, what do you want on it? And so I got meat and bread. And that was what I got. Because apparently you're supposed to
they come plain.
Yeah, it's like Five Guys. The reason why it's confused. So I guess I didn't tell you the story. The reason why it's confusing to me, and
but Five Guys asks you what you want.
They do.
Like,
they do. They make it very clear, like, hey,
yeah.
what's going on. But here's the other thing at Five Guys. They just have hamburger, cheeseburger on the menu, right? At Culver's, they call them butter burgers, I guess, because the buns got butter on it or something. I'm not really quite sure. They call them butter burgers, and they have butter burger, and they have the butter burger deluxe, so in the butter burger picture, it has the onions and the pickles and the ketchup, right? In the butter burger deluxe picture, it has lettuce, tomato, pickles, onions, and mayonnaise, right? And I sat at home and looked at their fucking menu for like an hour before I even left my house to like decide. I do this. I have like drive-through anxiety. Like I need to know my order before I get to the speaker, or else I like.
I don't have anxiety about much things, and I've worked in restaurants and fast food for so many years, and I'll tell you, I have the same fucking anxiety just standing in line. I like repeat my order to myself,
right?
And if I get to the counter, I hate when I get to a drive-through and I'm like, when they don't have the sign in a way you can see it from anywhere but the ordering window.
Now you can see it. Now that they're like, what do you want?
Yeah, exactly. It's the only time you can fucking see it. It's like, look, I haven't been to a goddamn Burger King in 4 years now. I don't know what's on this menu anymore. I just stopped here because I'm like starving and it's on the way home type of deal.
Right.
I'm perusing the menu and I was like, give me just a second, and you could just hear.
Right. I mean, they work there every fucking day. They know what's on the menu. But yeah, like you said, I haven't been here in 10 years. Like, I don't fucking know. I remember the last time I went to a McDonald's, I ordered chicken strips, and they were like, chicken strips. They're like, we haven't had chicken strips in like 5 years. And I'm like, oh. Okay, well,
So you're saying it'll be a wait.
Right, yeah. So how many years before I can come back? So like before I left my house, I studied this menu and made a decision on what I was going to order. And so I would have expected if their website at any point had said like, made your way, or you pick the toppings, or any fucking wording that would signify that I'm going to be picking toppings. And if they didn't have these two different competing burgers, and the only difference between the two was the toppings. Like, so to me, it's just a confusing setup, period. So anyways, I get there, I order the thing. I wait my hour and a half in line. I get it, and it's meat and bread.
Hour and a half in line.
Yeah, I know I probably should have just come back a different day. I didn't know it was going to be an hour and a half when I got in the line. After I'd been in the line for like 30 minutes, I felt I was committed to the line, and then I didn't expect it to last another hour after that. But anyways, that's what it was. That's what happened. So I was very disappointed in the situation because I didn't feel like I got what I came for.
So well, sure, but let me ask, you got it plain. Was it bad?
There just wasn't anything special about it. It was just meat and bread, man. You know what I mean? It was just like, it didn't have any ketchup. I mean, here's what I need.
I will say a Five Guys burger that would just be plain would just be like a grease ball. Like,
I can't imagine. Right.
The toppings are what make it, the greasiness and the fact that you can't pick it up. It makes it so good because it's like pouring out with like pickles and lettuce and like whatever the hell you got on it. Right. That's what makes it delicious.
Right. You need the toppings.
You just give me greasy bread and meat, even though it would be like succulent and moist, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I agree. I just ate grease for no reason.
So at the time, I tweeted about it, and I was pissed off. People were like, were you going to go back? And I'm like, fuck that. I waited an hour and a half for this shit. I'm not going back. I have gone back, and I went at like a time that no one is eating, and like the wait, there was no wait. And I got a burger, and I ordered the toppings like I would at Five Guys, and it's all right. It's not as good as Five Guys, but it was all right. I would eat there again before I would eat at like a McDonald's or a Wendy's or a Hardee's or any of those type of things. But yeah, it's not anything like where I'm like Five Guys and I'm like, yeah,
yeah, but yeah.
The night I got this meat and bread, I pulled in, I got my stuff, and like, I didn't want to try to park in their parking lot because it was packed with people trying and waiting in line. I felt like I'd be able to get back out of a parking spot. You know what I mean? So, but I wanted to eat this while it was hot because I'm like, I just sat here for an hour and a half. Like, I want to experience this as fresh as I possibly can. So I pulled out and I pulled into Sheetz up the road, and I was listening to an audiobook. I pulled in on the end of the part of the place where there's just nobody at. And there was a guy sitting on a bench, and I pull out my Culvers. I also got like some cheese curds. They have like fried cheese curds, which isn't great. Also, when I went back, so my opinion of these were they're okay. Zaxby's has them too, and Zaxby's gives you like marinara dipping sauce with them. And honestly, the two taste exactly the same, except one of them comes with dipping sauce. So like, if I'm gonna get cheese curds, I'm just getting them at Zaxby's. And what's funny is whenever I did go back in the middle of the day to get it, I brought my daughter with me, and she wanted cheese curds. And the first thing she said whenever I gave them to her was, "Hey, where's the dipping sauce?" I'm like, right? So I
like, she gets it.
Yeah,
she gets it.
But anyways, I the first time I went, I was all alone. I pulled into Sheetz because I wanted to eat it hot, and this guy on the bench goes, "Hey, you sharing?" I just thought he was joking around. You know what I mean? Like, he sees me eating, he's just making jokes, and I was like, yeah.
You're like, what?
Right, basically. And so, you know, I just joked, I laughed at him and just kind of ignored him and started disappointingly eating this burger, which I didn't eat much of, honestly, which is kind of sad because this guy was over there very hungry. I ate like 2 bites and I threw it away and went inside and ordered food from Sheetz. But whenever I come back out, he was talking to someone else, and the guy was like, "Yeah, man, just come inside and I'll order you something off the menu, whatever you want, and that way you can get something to eat tonight." And I was like, "Oh shit, this guy was like fucking legit. I just threw away this burger in front of his face after taking 2 bites of it. I'm an asshole."
Wait, he told you to go? Wait, I don't get it.
No. I come back outside after I ordered my food or whatever, and the guy that was on the bench is talking to someone else completely. And the someone else completely guy goes, "Oh yeah, if you're super hungry, I don't have any money, but if you come into Sheetz and you order something, I'll put it on my card, and you can just order wherever you want to eat, and I'll pay for it." And so they did. They went inside and they ordered whatever. And so I get back in my car and I start eating my new fast food from Sheetz. And when the guy comes back out, I had just got my rent payment from my tenant, and he paid me in cash. So I had like $600 in cash in my pocket. I was like, "Hey, dude, listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like laugh at you when you asked me for food and then throw away my food in front of you. I didn't realize you were being serious. I thought you were just joking. Like, I actually have some extra cash. I don't normally have cash. Here's $20. So I give the guy $20. I don't know if he bought beer with it or whatever. I typically don't give money. I used to carry around like emergency backpacks when I went to Raleigh a lot to see my lawyer, and like they would have like a sleep blanket and like cans of like Vienna sausages and stuff like that. And there's tons of homeless in Raleigh, and I would, if they asked me for stuff, I would give them that out of my car because I didn't want to support someone's drug habit or alcohol or whatever. This guy seemed like a nice enough guy, whatever. Maybe he bought beer with it. I don't know. But I gave him $20. Hey, these Phantoms are back. I know you're afraid. Jeff just died of Phantoms, everybody.
I did. They like sniped me out. It was he flew at the ground level and just was like ba 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 until I died. It was like crazy.
So this was in like my hometown that all this took place, right? And this is probably 2 weeks ago ish, something like that. Well, tonight, I took my daughter back to her mom. So like this week is technically Crystal's week to have our daughter, and they're needing, like, no one can work from home over there, so like she's basically coming. I'm meeting them at 6:30 in the morning every morning, halfway in between our houses, and then dropping her back off after Crystal gets off of work, which is basically the same thing that would happen if she was going to daycare. But it said she's just coming here and doing school and then going back over there for the afternoon. So I was pretty far away from home, nowhere near like my hometown where I'd ran into this guy before. And then I decided, you know what, I want Popeyes. So I was like, I'm gonna go get Popeyes, and that's not near anything. It's like in Raleigh basically, which is like an hour from my house. So I looked to see how close it is, because like I'm in a, I'm not in Raleigh where I'm meeting Crystal. So I basically like made like a triangle. I wasn't any closer to Popeyes, but I looked up directions and it was like an hour from where I was. So I drove. Oh, and also tonight was like curriculum night at the school. So like I sat in the parking lot where I meet Crystal on a Google Meet for an hour first to do curriculum night, which is interesting. We'll have to talk about that too.
Curriculum night.
Yeah, it's whenever you go over like what the expectations for your child is in their current grade, like what, like, all right, you're going to have math, science, social studies, English, all those things. What exactly, like, let's break those down. What are they going to learn in math this year? What are they going to learn in English? What do we do with our Title I funding from the state? Blah, 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 blah. Basically, like all the different things. And like also there was some stuff from the principal about like what to expect and with remote learning because of COVID and like a lot of kids are going back to school next Monday and what to expect there and just those sort of things. So anyways, I sit there in the parking lot for an hour doing curriculum night. Then I drive an hour to get the Popeyes. And then after I leave Popeyes, I pull into a Sheetz. Completely different Sheetz. I needed gas. I wasn't pulling into Sheetz to eat my Popeyes.
Same fucking guy.
Yes! I pull up to get gas, and this motherfucker is getting gas beside me. I get out. I already ate my Popeyes. I ate in the parking lot at Popeyes. I was hungry. I get out, and he's like, oh my God, it's you. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because like I'm an hour away from where I saw this guy last time, and he goes,
"He played you for a fool."
He goes, "Dude, I am so hungry." Because he told me his whole fucking life story the last time I gave him $20. He was like, he'd got a hotel, he'd managed to scrounge up enough money to get a hotel for that night. So he was gonna have somewhere to get showered and stuff. He had a job interview the next day. He was hoping to get work at this place, and like he just told me all this his whole life story. He did not seem like someone that was trying to rip me off or someone that's buying drugs with the money or anything like that. So I pull in get gas at this fucking place. It's like an hour away from my house and an hour away from where I saw him before. And he's getting gas too. And he tells me, he's like, man, I just helped this woman. She had a flat tire. And so I was able to get gas money from her. He's like, she put her card in. She just left. I'm filling up my tank.
He's like, she also gave me this car.
No, he's got like this really old SUV that's super fucking beat up. Like it looks rough. And that's where he's been staying, he says. And like I heard him crank it tonight, and it did not sound like it wanted to crank. He's like, yeah, last 3 nights have been super awful because I haven't had enough money. He's like, it's like $42 at the place, the cheapest hotel I can find. He's like, so I've been staying in my car. It's like, but it's been getting super cold, and I was almost out of gas. So luckily, this woman helped me out after I helped her put air in her tire and stuff. He basically he said he put on her spare and then like filled up the air in that for there at the Sheetz, and then she like bought him gas. And so he's like, you helped me out last time. Can you help me out again? I was like, well, listen, dude, I don't carry cash. You caught me on a lucky day last time. I was like, listen, I'll do the same thing that the other guy did for you. So I went in and I bought him like a burger, some fries, and I got him a sub too, thinking that like that would last till later because it's cold. And I got him a bag of beef jerky and a water. So it's just the only reason why I don't like to talk about shit like this, because I feel like a lot of people, whenever they give to anyone, they like to brag about it. So like I never told about the first time I met him, but the reason why I'm bringing it up is because it's so fucking wild to me that I've ran into this man twice now at a Sheetz so far away from each other. Like I don't understand and it's only like 2 weeks apart. Like how do of all the people I see on a day-to-day basis, which is not very many, a repeat occurrence of something like this is just fucking wild to me. So it would just fuck me up, I guess. It's like a reverse angel or something. Like I'm this man's angel or something now. I'm responsible for this guy.
I can't wait until the next time we record. You're like, I saw him again.
Yeah, tonight he asked my name. He was like, I need to know your name. You've helped me out twice. He's like, I don't normally see people more than once. And like, things have been rough for like 3 months now and all this. And so I told him my name, but that's it. So he now knows. So what do you got going on here?
I don't know. I was waiting for your story to end.
Sorry,
for help. Well, it wasn't a good story. So the whole we're trying to completely automate this thing, so that when everything comes down at the end, it'll reset itself.
I don't think this is gonna work because how do you trigger these droppers?
Well, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. we could do, if we somehow got it to trigger up to here, you could water stream it over to here, and that's what I was trying to show. Is this water streaming it over here should work?
Yeah.
But I don't know how to trigger those droppers, especially considering you need the exact same setup right next to it.
Right. Is there no other way to go up?
Well, and that's what I don't know. I mean, you could somehow trigger them into an up water stream, but the fact that it's directly next to another one, wouldn't that not work?
I don't think this is possible to be.
I'm
all burpy.
Well, it might be possible if we take it this way.
Yeah.
We could take hoppers and take it out here, but then we need the boat to extend. Well, I guess it's not done with this side of the boat. We need the boat to extend out here.
I guess you could have like a little jut out over here on the boat, right? But the thing is, then you'd want to do the same thing on this side. So we'd have to extend the boat on both sides.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I'm recording with him tomorrow to finish the thing over here. I could talk to him and see what he thinks we should do. He might even.
Well, then we have to get something in. Well, does he know redstone very well?
He might. I don't know. Never asked. He might be the best redstoner ever
in existence.
Yeah,
it's possible.
Like Etho should be shamed by what Doll can do.
Yeah, because I don't know how else we're gonna do this with how tightly packed we've made this without thinking of this part.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, in theory, so I guess if worse comes to worse, we can always have the hoppers at the very end go straight down and then take them all the way under it all over here to the beginning.
That's true. That's true.
And do it so you don't have to come out in the back.
Yeah. That would work.
But we still need it to come up in some way, shape, or form.
But we could have room to do water over here. Like a water channel up. We have the room for it without worrying about.
Yeah, well, we have to. Well, this side we would. How would we on this side? Because we still got plenty of room before we run into the bar.
Yeah, that's possible.
So we're kind of thinking that what I have going on here is not really.
Yeah, I don't think that's definitely not going to work. There's no chance that's going to be a thing.
I was trying to set up an outline just to see if it started to make any sense, and it did not. So
yeah, curriculum night is not super. There's not a lot to talk about here, but it was interesting this year because of course it's online, and it was all of third grade, which there are. There's 20. There's not exactly 20 students in every class, but there's around that, and there's 6 classes. So there's 120-ish students in third grade at the school, and 30 people showed up. That includes 4 teachers. So not a huge attendance.
Is there supposed to be a big attendance?
I feel like whenever we do it in the classroom, because normally it happens at the school, and the classroom's pretty packed. I feel like there's not a lot of great parents. And maybe people are just busy. They have other things going on. I don't know. But like today, for example, my daughter's resource was computer lab, which is interesting, doing computer lab on a computer. It's like computer lab's inception.
It's like simulator.
Yeah. But 6 of her classmates showed up, including her. So 5 others out of 20. And so that was one of the things that actually her teacher talked about tonight. She's like, all your kids, which again, this doesn't help whenever out of all 6 classes, there's only 30 people there. But all your kids need to be at resource every day at 1 o'clock. She's like, I know we leave our classroom at noon, but they need to be back at their computer after they have lunch and recess at 1. And she keeps stressing this. Another thing that they keep stressing a lot is your kids should not be in their bed and in their pajamas when they start class in the morning. And that's interesting to me that that's a problem they keep having to deal with. I guess I'm not super surprised, but and I haven't stared at my daughter's grid of students to see how many of her classmates are.
Are they going to send them home if they're wearing too short of skirts?
I mean, there probably is a dress code thing that's happening at a high school level, honestly. I mean, today she did talk about how if a student is disruptive in the call or if in the chat bar, and they've been warned and they don't stop, then they will be hung up on, and there will be a parent-teacher
conference. They will be hung.
Yeah, they will be killed immediately.
Can you drop a...
Sick
I
lyric.
guess it wouldn't happen. You almost need to trigger that dropper. Or I want to see if this actually comes all the way down to this end before going back or not.
Wait.
Can you actually hear it? This white wall will be perfect. It's gonna trigger something though. Is the problem? You might as well put a button on that dropper and just trigger it when I say so.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I mean, I'm just gonna put one of the dies in here.
That's fine. Okay, go for it. I never saw it pass through here. Maybe that doesn't matter.
So it's here now, right? You got it?
No, I didn't get it.
Where did it go?
It should have come all the way back here. But it didn't. Where did it go? What die did you put in there?
Orange.
Which one?
It worked because it's in a brown wool over here.
So where did it end up? Where did it end up then? I guess it doesn't matter how that works. This should this should have worked no matter what, unless it's locked in one of these hoppers. Can't tell if this. I think I can lock. No, I can't anymore. Where on earth is it?
It's got to be somewhere.
Pretty close. Ah, there it is. It's the second to last one. Why is it in the second to last one?
Because that's where the
red,
orange is at.
orange, yellow. So this is this locked because of that redstone next to it? That's what I was afraid of. Okay, so that's not going to work. Let me see. We're gonna have to take it. Lost a hopper. Down an extra line. Then it shouldn't be a big deal.
So the one thing I wanted to talk about from Trick of the Night though was so they started talking about. So I guess what they did in my daughter's school is they have 6 third-grade teachers. 3 of them are remote only. Like all the students that they put in those classes were the parents that said, my kid is going to be remote this year, basically. And the way that the school is doing it, like I said, the people that are not remote are going back next Monday, and they're on an A-B cohort schedule where if you're in the A group, you go to school Monday, Tuesday, and then you're remote Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you're in the B group, you go to school remotely Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you're in school Thursday, Friday. And so there's 3 third grade teachers that are teaching those kids. So they said at the start of the year that if you made the decision later to change from remote to in school or vice versa, that you could talk to the principal and make it happen, basically. What she said tonight is since the way they've split the classes with half the teachers being remote learner and half the teachers being in-school learners or teachers, that you can't switch. They're going to have an option in the end of October for anyone that wants to switch. But like, let's say you chose to go to school and then now you've changed your mind. You cannot switch. You have to go to school until the end of October. And then if you do switch in the end of October, your teacher will change because the teachers that are currently remote are going to stay remote and vice versa. Unless a great number of people change, and then some people may have their classes switch and their teacher switch, which to me fucking sucks because just tonight in the curriculum night, each teacher had a part of the presentation to deliver, and you could tell like one teacher would come up and be like, so this is what we do in all third grade classrooms, and then they'd be like, well, I don't do it that way in my class.
Not in my class.
Yeah. Like even my daughter's teacher, the one woman that was talking about math was like, every morning we have today's math, which is different from the math lesson. It's like 4 questions that are actually questions that are for stuff that's going to happen later in the year, but it's to assess whether your child already understands the concepts. She's like, so, and then on Friday we have a quiz on all those concepts. And so she's like, all the kids in 3rd grade should be studying those Thursday night using their math journal with their parents. So you need to tell your child to bring out their math journal on Thursday night. You just fuck that.
Damn it. I was gonna go straight up there, but I can't go straight up there. I guess we have to just go out farther before we can do this.
And then my daughter's teacher was like, yeah, we're not doing the math journal thing. I just leave everything online because it's easier. So it's not a thing you can do. So it was just, I don't know. And there was other occasions where like one teacher would say, this is what all 3rd graders are doing. And then the teachers would be like, not really. But
by all, you mean everybody but us and everybody else.
Yeah. But what I found interesting was then the principal said, and so if you don't decide to switch in October, the next opportunity will be January. In January, all kids are required to return to school. And if you decide you still want your child to be remote, they will no longer be a part of this school district. They will be put into a virtual academy that is managed somewhere in the United States. We don't really know where.
Somewhere in the United States.
Yep. So I'm just kind of blown away by this, that they expect that they entered into a school year where you had the option to be taught remotely, and then now that that's all been established, it's active, it's working, you're told in 3 months, if the pandemic doesn't magically disappear like dumbass says it's going to, your kid's just gonna have to go back to school fucking anyways. And if you don't like that, they're out.
I mean, it's almost like promising something 4 years ago to get your way, and then having that exact same situation repeat itself, and saying you have no obligation
anyway to tie this in, didn't you?
Promise. No, I mean, I don't think talking about it's going to do either of us any good, but that is what it's out. They literally made a promise to you guys that you could go remotely, and now they're reneging on that, saying no. If we go like live, sorry about it, but no matter what we told you before, we're changing the rules. That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I guess they didn't promise remote forever, but
for the school year at least, though, right?
You would think, yeah, the entire school year would be kind of assumed. I don't know that they ever said for the entire school year. I mean, they did say for this school year, but I mean I guess that means, encompassing the start of the school year, not necessarily for the entirety of it. Depending on how you want. I mean, this is like fucking getting down to like lawyer speak about the situation, I guess. But yeah, I do feel a little bit upset because to expect there to be a great change in the current status of things between now and January, to me, is fucking absurd. Like, everyone seems to think that there's going to be a resurgence during the winter. I don't really know why people think that. Do you know, as a medical professional?
Flu season, mixing it with like immunocompromised flu season coming back,
But shouldn't the flu season be the least aggressive flu season in our history since the flu came about, basically?
I don't think. Why would this change anything to do with the flu?
Because people are wearing masks and washing their hands more and all the things they're doing.
Okay.
COVID.
So yeah, for that purpose, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I didn't think about that. I thought you were going to say because all the old people died.
Yeah, all the sick people are dead now, Jeff.
Yeah, the people who normally get afflicted by the flu are already dead. So that actually might cause a little bit of a.
I mean, I guess there is some of that. I hadn't considered the deaths as potential high risk flu people. But no, I mean, I just think that the people that are taking the precautions to prevent the coronavirus are also much less likely to catch the flu now. Like I honestly was considering not getting my flu shot this year. I took my daughter to get hers because Crystal asked me to, so I got mine too.
Any reason?
Because I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving the house. Like the reason why I got it in the past is because I was traveling. I was going places. I was in places where I could catch the flu. Now I go to the grocery store once a month. So I guess I just feel like it's much less likely. I've never had the flu.
I guess I've never really thought about it from that perspective, but it makes sense. Huh. Yeah. I don't know. That'll be interesting to see how the flu stats pull out this year.
I'm surprised you guys haven't talked about it in the hospital. I know that you don't work.
Yeah, no, we've not talked about this at all in the hospital. We're just preparing for flu. We just implemented the things yesterday about putting screening forms in because flu vaccine screening for all inpatients starts October 1.
I mean, I haven't read this anywhere. This is just my own mind assuming things.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. I'm going to do some research on that now because now I'm curious.
Well, I'm hoping someone other than me has thought about this because it makes sense to me. But I mean, I'm not a doctor, so maybe it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I feel like it makes sense though. I'm using my gut to diagnose things.
Before we end this episode, though, I know people have just watched me lay a lot of hoppers, which might have potential to work. Okay. However, I thought of something that in between episodes, maybe we should research to see if we can do this in a different and maybe cooler way.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess let's end this episode here. I've done nothing. I ran around and jumped while you placed things and talked. So hopefully my contribution was with words.
It was definitely a contribution of words.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody.
See ya.